Let's start with this Kuminga talk. I got a question from my guy Ben, longtime patron supporter. He asked, "Who is at fault for this Kuminga fiasco? Dunleavy for not trading him sooner, Lacob for being too involved and doubting Steph's longevity, Curry for not putting pressure on the front office. The really only safe person in this convo is Kerr, and he's done the most to say he doesn't want him on the team. Would love to hear your take because this is getting to the point where if we don't sign him soon, he won't be eligible for a trade at the deadline." I think all parties are guilty at some point here. Dunleavy probably, I would say, for not moving him sooner. But when you say Dunleavy, does that mean Lacob, right? Because ultimately, I think we all understand he answers to Lacob. And if Joe, loves Kuminga so much, Dunleavy, for all we know, could have had the trade on the table, and Joe nixed it. So, and then I think Kuminga's agent, his team, his handlers have mishandled this horribly. Like you saw that it came out that there was never a $30 million deal on the table last year. And to be honest, when I heard that last season, it didn't sound right. It was like, really? We offered that much? And he turned it down, right? We were all like, really? Okay. So that didn't sound right. I bet it was more between 20 and 25. But yeah, of course his agent is going to say that now. Like they look like they're fumbling this. But I do think there was, here's what I'll say. I think that there was probably a deal on the table last year that's better than the one now. So that they fumbled it as well. Now, Shams has reported there are two, quote, concrete offers on the table, one from Phoenix and one from Sacramento. The Suns deal, reportedly, Nick Richards, who we've discussed quite a bit, right? Grayson Allen or Royce O'Neal. I've heard Grayson Allen more. And Osa Ighodaro, a kid that I did a scouting report on last year's draft. He's out here in Arizona. He went to high school in Chandler. I forget what school he went to. Did he go to Marquette? I think he played at Marquette. I did a scouting report on him. The Kings deal, Devin Carter, Dario Sarge, Diarrhea Dario. I don't want any parts of Dario back on this squad. He couldn't. Nah, I'm good with that. And a first round pick, right? But we've also heard Malik Monk, but that appears to be the deals that have been out there. Look, if Kuminga was content and seemed to want to still be on the Warriors, I wouldn't take either of these deals. But the toothpaste is out of the tube, right? It feels like it's a wrap for him, like long term. Like now you can sign him and wait for the deadline, right? They've got to sign him soon, like Ben said before, so we can trade him at the deadline. But then we're dealing with this conversation for, months and months. Everyone's exhausted of it, right? But considering that, it feels like there is no reconciliation with the Warriors, Kerr and Kuminga, just long term, you got to move them. I take the Phoenix deal. If what's being reported is true. Grayson Allen is a dog. I know I'm higher on Grayson Allen than most people. Shout out to who a long time, years and years ago when I first started patroning. This is when Grayson Allen was still at Duke. I had an argument. I think his name was Jim. And we had this argument. I was like, nah, I like Grayson. Watch, he's going to be a good NBA player. I mean, it's subjective, like to his career now. He has some durability issues, but I like Grayson Allen. I think he's a fiery competitor. He's a little bigger he plays bigger than you think at 6'4". Like he's really strong and bouncier than you think. And then he obviously can shoot the ball, Again, we've discussed Nick Richards being kind of even across the board. He's going to run the floor. He's going to rebound. Like he can start at center for us. And then Osa Ighodaro, to me, is like a better version of Trace Jackson Davis. He has that same. They move similar. They look similar, honestly. But he can be like an elbow hub. He's a better passer and a better finish than Trace with the same physical attributes. Probably not as bouncy as Trace, maybe not as quite as strong, but I think his feel for the game is better, and he's a better passer, and he's a better finisher. He has that Antoine Jameson, like push shot at the dotted, at the restricted, and on the short roll that's like automatic for him. Who has that? Who is on Hartenstein? Think Hartenstein. He's not as big as Hartenstein, but that little push shot that Hartenstein has, he also has that. Really good passer, high motor. So like you say, well, great. What do we need another Trace for? Well, then maybe you move Trace, But looking at that package, I don't like the Dario. Whenever Dario Sarge is involved in something for us, like I'm gonna pass on that. Even though I do like Devin Carter, But when you look at it from Kuminga's perspective, there's no tombstones in the desert. No, what's the Clips line, right? Remember, but you look at the Suns in the history of guys going there and having success. But what would their starting lineup be? Booker, Jalen Green, Kuminga, Dylan Brooks, and Mark Williams. Is Kuminga, because you keep hearing Kuminga will not take a backseat role. He wants a lead role, and both the Suns and Kings are apparently offering that. Okay, because you look at these rosters, you'd imagine he's third on this pecking order. Does he bully Jalen Green for the number 2 option? Like they played G League Ignite. You assume they've got a decent relationship, but I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't do that, but the other thing with Phoenix is they've announced they're going to move Devin Booker officially to the point guard position. Now, he's perfectly capable in pick and rolls, and I think he's a willing passer at this point in his career where I don't think he hangs his hat on scoring like he had. Everyone's accepted how good he can score the ball. So I think he'd be all right averaging 15, 16 points a game and 7, 8 assists. The problem is every team is going to pick him up 94 feet. You've already seen this trend in the playoffs in the tail end of last season is the full court press, right? So you put Book at point guard, they're just going to pick him up 94 feet and make him expend way more energy than he wants just getting into the offense. And Booker, as much as I like him and his skill set physically, I don't know, what is he, 30 now? Like, I don't know if he has the motor and physical endurance. Book's not one of these guys that just can just keep going. One, he's not that young anymore, and he just isn't that guy that's just like, a endless motor type of player. So, that I don't know about that. Meanwhile, in Sacramento, let's say we do the Sacramento's got to throw somebody else in there. I was hoping, I know it seemed unrealistic, but for Keegan Murray. Right? Like maybe we throw pick capital back at them, Kuminga for Keegan Murray, but we send for future firsts, because that would be such a good fit with what we have right now. But they got to throw more in than that. The Monk was rumored into the deal. But listen, if Kuminga went to Sacramento, I love the idea of him learning from DeMar DeRozan. We've all talked about JK, the nail work, the mid-range game, and who better than to learn from DeMar, like the master of that footwork. But you're looking at a team with Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan. So good luck being the featured guy you want to be and getting your 15 shots a night. I don't know. I think everyone has a portion of blame pie in this situation. But I would put his agent and Lacob and Dunleavy as the 3. Some of y'all are going to put Kerr, but like Ben said, at least Kerr's been the most transparent. He's like, yeah, it doesn't really fit, So I'll put Lacob and his agents atop the list of blame, because I think that Dunleavy would have pulled the trigger. If you look at his history, how quick did he trade Poole? Like Dunleavy has shown us he's not afraid, and so I think we're all hoping that this just comes to an end here. By, what we got a week left of August, not even a week left here in July. We're hitting August, and then Kuminga, they're like doubling down. They're like, he's just going to sign, the qualifying or whatever it's going to be. He's not in any hurry, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a frustrating situation, and you wonder if someone else like Chicago or someone else is going to jump into this. But that's where we stand right now, and for me, I take the Phoenix deal. Let me know in the comments which it's a no-brainer. If those are the 2 deals that you got to take, right? The Phoenix deal is just far more appealing than the Sacramento deal, unless there's a piece we're not knowing. I guess a first-round pick from Sacramento is enticing, That's probably going to hold a lot of value if you want to like make other moves.